Garu and also Srinivas Reddy Garu for giving this opportunity. So I am a mechanical engineer. So I worked as various companies as a DGM procurement. So I will share my experience how the procurement will enhance the competitiveness of small and medium enterprises, where I am working on research on that. And we'll explore why procurement is very important. We'll go through each and every aspects, and we'll talk about how the lean concepts will help the small companies to enhance their competitiveness. So the agenda will be introductions, what is a supply chain disruption, procurement process, what are the procurement strategies, and another is Kraljic matrix, very interesting to touch my heart, that one, and procurement strategy for small contractors, stores management, then what are the lean approaches in construction, what is the 6-step approach for a lean construction, and how 7 QC tools used to enhance the competitiveness. This is my presentation sequence. So if you look into the organizations, so procurement is a process. Many think that procurement is a process. So it is not a process, it is a strategy. So where you have to plan your advanced materials planning, so advanced material deployment. So unfortunately, so you think that by comparing 3 quotes, lowest will select and select that one. It's not that much easy. So when you are not taken into the quality aspect into the procurement, so we have seen so many aspects happens very recently. I don't want to comment on that. So particularly for government organizations, so they are looking to only lowest cost. But when you see the private organization, there are different parameters, quality, delivery, cost, and there is a weighted average will be given to the each and every contract. Okay? And many organizations mainly focusing on sales and marketing, whereas the cost of the spending is about 40 to 70% in any contract, if you look into that. And small enterprises don't have any knowledge, so they have depend on the spot purchase, which is 20 to 30% higher than the market price. And geopolitical tension, so we have seen for the last 2 years, there is a Ukraine and Russia still not settled. And also rising of the commodity prices. So these are all the main important aspects we have to look into that. Then another important is the uncertainty between union. And ESG is going in a big way, where European Union's very strong on sustainability. And lack of professionals in a procurement process, ignore the market dynamics, and delay of the supply payments. If you see all the government contracts, they will take 1 year or 2 years, 5 years, we don't know. Okay? It is the mercy of the clerk where you are doing all these things. Okay? I don't want to comment on that. Okay? Lack of advanced material planning and look into the lowest price rather than the value. So we have to look into the value, not the price. What is the value has created? What is the value you have given to that? So that is very important, okay? So supply chain disruption happened in Ukraine and Russia war, squeezing of the margins in the projects, COVID-19, abnormal increase in the commodity price like copper, steel and everything, and aluminum. And recent change in the labor codes, it is also very impact, okay? The labor codes have been changed very recently. So every company has to comply with the 12% PF on the gross pay, not on the basic pay. So all the contractor has to comply with that. So what is the procurement process? So procurement starts with the specification of the end user. They will raise a purchase request. The purchase request go to the purchase department. So purchase department will see the specification. Based on the specification, they select the vendors and call for a quotation, and they will compare. So based on the quality, quantity, cost, everything, they will decide. The final order will be coming up. So this is where the procurement process will start. Then the purchaser will follow up the material. Okay? So what are the 6 criteria where you can do in a construction management is, one is the leadership of the client, because we have to pay what are the project consultant or specification given that So procurement has to do that according to the specification and the quality of the design. So quality of the design should not be compromised at any stage. Third is the integration of the procurement, health and safety, and sustainability and commitment. These are all the 6 criteria we have to look into in a construction procurement. So if you look into this, according to the McKinsey, so 30% are into the commercial optimization is possible, where you can have a database, the database of the suppliers, so where you can buy cheaper products, where you can negotiate, and 50% can be optimized by aggregating your demand. 20% can be technical optimization, where the specification is over specification given by the contractor, where you can optimize, you can tell them this is not suppose somebody has given a 40 may not be required, it may be 25 or 30. So we are the engineers where you have to negotiate with the project consultant, and you can optimize and capability of the procurement process, and also data. So data and analytics, where the historical data, where you are talking about AI. So once you have a historical data of the last 10 years, where you can predict the demand and where you can plan your advanced materials procurement process can be possible. So one is the commercial optimization, where you can consolidate the volume. Second is the identify the low-cost suppliers. And the second is the demand optimization, where you can forecast your demand. We are having multiple projects where you can consolidate the demand based on your future requirement or what is happening for the multiple projects. And also stock reduction. Sometimes we have a multiple projects, some of the stock can be left out in the site. So it may be value somewhere 5 to 10 lakhs, but unfortunately there is no reconciliation of the stock. So they left out and they run away, and what are the material is, the stock is there, and surplus optimization, these are all another important. Third is the technical optimization. We have to discuss with the designer for optimization, specification, and you have to reduce what is the total cost of ownership. So that is very important. And next is the organizational capability, where we have to create a value. So it is not a cost center. Procurement is not a cost center. You have to create a value. So we have to give a value to the entire organization. That is very important. And leverage the company experience and the data, where you are talking about the data and analytics, where AI can be integrated, where you can predict what is happening in next 10 years by using historical data. And also we can leverage the supplier capability. So this is very interesting matrix. If you look into the x-axis, there is a supply risk. In y-axis, so there is a profit impact. So there are 4 quadrants, non-critical items like bolts and nuts. So if you look into the bolts and nuts, the cost is very less and the impact is very less. In that case, so need not go for everyday transactions. Just 1 year you can purchase. Okay, so where you need not worry about that, because we are having abundant supply, product is standardized, and purchase is an automated process. Whereas the second one, leverage items, we are having abundant supply and abundant suppliers, where you can have the purchase department has a leverage to negotiate better when you have a number of suppliers. In the third quadrant, static items, which is very critical, we have to look into the long-term relations, where the collaboration and innovation is important. Suppose you want to develop a new product or a process, where you require a supplier capability, where you have to take the leverage of the suppliers. That is strategic. So where the suppliers are strategic partners. And the last one is the bottleneck items. In that case, even though abundance, only one item, if not there, then the entire product will be stopped. So for example, whenever there is a bearing has been not there in concrete mixer, then entire work will be stopped. So that is where you have to get the material from the suppliers. Okay, these are all very important. So this was developed by Kraljic matrix. So this concept was given in Harvard Business Review 1983, still you can use it. So what is the procurement strategy for small firms is, one is all the small contractor can form a consortium. The consortium aggregate the demand. So what is happening by the, if you see the Amazon, why he has given Amazon 80% or 90% discount? Because they are having the aggregating the demand because of that reason. So they can negotiate more negotiating power. Here also, small contractors can aggregate the demand by forming a consortium, share the knowledge of the suppliers with the other one, systematic project closure, identify the leftover items, keep track of the materials, movement from one supplier to another various locations, frequent auditing. So we have to audit the entire material which is coming in and out. And the supplier relationship managed, advanced analysis of the project cost escalation in case of delay of the project. We have seen so many projects are delayed. If you see the Hebal flyover, 10 years are over, still is not completed. So particularly for government projects, but who will bear that amount? Who will bear that amount? We have to bear that. Okay? So this is delay in projects will escalate the cost. You have to estimate the escalation as well as other things. So take care of the procurement consultant. Suppose you are not capable of, then what you have to do is you take an advisor from the senior procurement consultant. We are having an experience. Another important is the stores management, which is a very neglected area. Okay? So storekeeper will track of the 100 crores of materials. There is no supervisor there itself. So there is a filterage, or we don't know where is the cable and where is the cement, like that. Okay. So first you have to classify your materials and codify so that you can identify which materials are going into the project. That is very important. Second is, depending on the size and shape, we have to locate the materials and mark the location where the material has been stored. For example, A1, A2, A3, like that. So A1, some steel material, A2 will be some other material. You should have to keep track of material which is going to the project. Third is the physical verification, which is very neglected area. Okay, physical verification of the stores. Stock entry will not happen because the contractor will take the material because of the urgency, but they will be doing the forced treatment. Okay, so that one, periodic verification of the material, training to the stores and purchase department. These are all very important aspects in a stores management. So this is where you're talking about how the delay happens in flyover, still not completed. So one of the important is the lean approach. So what is a lean approach? Lean is a manufacturing concept which was developed by Toyota in 1950, still it is there, and all the automobile companies already followed. The same concept can be applied in a construction also. So according to the Sir John Egan, 1998 quoted, rework is 30%, labor cost is 40 to 60, accidents, delay is 3 to 6%, whereas the 10% is the material wastage. Okay, so there are 7 types of waste. One is the transportation. So one tractor will moving one product to another mat. Okay, the tractor will be go on moving, and wastage of time, transportation. Okay. Second is the inventory, unnecessary material, excess material will be stocked. Third is the motion, where unnecessary movement of the people and equipment. Fourth is the waiting, because the contractor is waiting for the materials. If you don't have materials, you have to pay for the contractor payment. And overproduction. So you are putting larger than the necessary and poor drawing and overprocessing, highest quality. Suppose your quality is only certain extent, again you are adding extra which is not necessary. That means you will add the cost. Then defects. So overprocessing, I will tell one example. When I was executed in caustic soda in Andhra Sugars, the Uday is a German consultant, has given one specification of a butterfly wall. If you import, the cost is around 8 lakhs per wall, whereas we are optimized with the same with polypropylene is cost around 40,000. Okay, you can imagine. Okay, you can imagine where is the 8 lakhs, where is the 40,000. Both are functionally same. Only we have to optimize your engineering where you optimize unnecessarily your over specification, so that will lead to cost. Then the defects. So wrong information on the drawings. These are all the 7 types of waste where you are talking about. Okay. So when you're talking about this one of the case study happened in NG Bailey Electric Contractor in UK. So he has a contractor for all universities. So where through observation, 40% can be improved in pipe fitting productivity. Just he will observe what is happening in the site, what is happening in the other site through observation. So there is a 40% of improvement. Okay. Second is another Anglian water. They have fabricated chlorine station at the factory itself instead of having the site. So there is a reduction of the 20% of the cost. So this is another interesting. And these are all where you can have the lean approach through observation, through practical experience, where we can optimize the cost. So there are 6-step framework can be do for a lean construction. First, we have to establishing the basics. Second is the acquisition for improved performance. Creating a collaborative team and a lean implementation at the site, then the multiple projects, then the supplier performance and relationship management for sustained success. These are all the 6-step approach where UK has adapted. I have taken from the UK actually. In the step 1, so what you have to do is, first you have to understand what is the client requirement and understand the value. Based on that, who is a customer, procurement team, commercial department, project construction, maintenance, operation, and lean team has to be involved in the stage 1 itself. So when you start a project, you have to involve, one is the customer, procurement team, commercial, project construction, maintenance, and operators, and the lean team has to be understand what is the client requirement, what is the value you have to create. These are very important. Second is how to make use of the team and check your requirements and specification. Third is you have to make a lean with the top management and a lean champion, etc., where you can create the agreements and agree the lean governance and lean champion. And fourth step is we have to execute through customers, client, contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, architects, designers, interior and project management team, and where you can have the use of the building information system, where you can have the specification with the bill of materials in each and every stage. Is there any changes are necessary? So we have to do all these activities, the step 4. So step 5 is where you can interact with the suppliers, partner with the suppliers, and where you can have a strategy in the supplier management, and also improvement and internal and external customers. Both the internal and externals. Internal where you are executing our team, external where you are suppliers. Both are involved in the step 5. And step 6 is joint execution with the client, where you can have a develop a strategy and also understand the cost benefits and also right source. With this approach, so we can optimize the cost. Okay. So thank you very much.